You're an adult. You have a job, responsibilities, maybe a relationship. You've grown up, moved on, built a life. But sometimes, in certain moments, something happens. Someone criticizes you, and you completely shut down. Someone raises their voice, and your body freezes. You start to feel close to someone, and suddenly you push them away. You say yes when every part of you wants to say no, and you don't know why. You've tried to explain it. You've told yourself to stop overreacting. You've felt ashamed of your own responses. But here's what nobody told you. You're not overreacting. You're remembering. And today, we're going to talk about why. What trauma actually is. Most people have the wrong idea about what trauma is. When they hear the word, they picture war, abuse, disasters, big, dramatic, visible events. And yes, those are traumatic, but they're not the whole picture. Trauma is not defined by the event itself. Trauma is defined by what happens inside a person as a result of that event. Dr. Gabor Mate, one of the world's leading trauma experts, put it simply: trauma is not what happens to you. Trauma is what happens inside you as a result of what happened to you. This means trauma can come from things that don't look dramatic at all. A parent who was emotionally unavailable, constantly being told you were too sensitive or too much. Growing up in a home where expressing emotions wasn't safe. Watching your parents fight even if no one ever touched you. Not feeling seen, heard, or truly loved. These are called small t traumas. They happen quietly. No one talks about them. No one validates them. And yet they shape you just as deeply, sometimes more. How a child's brain responds. To understand how childhood trauma affects adults, you first need to understand what happens in a child's brain when they experience something overwhelming. A child's brain is not fully developed. They don't yet have the tools to process difficult emotions, make sense of scary situations, or regulate their own feelings. So when something threatening happens, and a child can't fight it, fix it, or run from it, their nervous system does the only thing it can. It adapts. The child learns rules, not consciously, not in words, but in the body, in the nervous system, in automatic responses. Stay quiet and they won't get angry. Don't show that you're hurting. It will only make things worse. If I'm perfect enough, maybe I'll be safe. Love always comes with pain, so I'll protect myself first. These adaptations were brilliant. They helped the child survive. The problem is, they don't turn off when childhood ends. 6 signs trauma is still running your adult life. Here are 6 signs that your childhood wounds are still shaping your adult life, and most people don't recognize any of them as trauma. Sign 1. You struggle to trust people. If the people who were supposed to protect you hurt you instead, or simply weren't there, your nervous system learned. People are unpredictable. Closeness is dangerous. So as an adult, you might find it almost impossible to fully trust anyone, not because people around you are untrustworthy, but because your nervous system is still running a childhood warning system. Sign 2. You are a people pleaser. In many households, love was conditional. You received affection when you behaved, achieved, or stayed quiet. And so you learned to be loved. I must perform. As an adult, this becomes people pleasing, an inability to say no, an obsession with how others see you, a deep fear of disappointing anyone. This isn't kindness. This is a survival strategy that outlived its usefulness. Sign 3. You overreact to small things. This is one of the most misunderstood signs of trauma. When you react to a present situation with an intensity that doesn't match it, that's usually because the present situation has triggered a memory, not a conscious memory, a body memory, a tone of voice that sounds like an angry parent, being left on read when you expected a reply, feeling excluded from a conversation. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between then and now. It just knows. This feels familiar, and last time this happened, it was dangerous. Sign 4. You shut down emotionally. Some people respond to childhood trauma not with explosive emotion, but with the opposite: numbness, disconnection, going blank. This is called dissociation, and it was originally a gift, a way for a child's mind to escape an unbearable situation. But in adult life, it shows up as not feeling close to anyone, feeling like you're watching your own life from a distance, struggling to be present in relationships. Sign 5. You self-sabotage. Ever gotten close to something you wanted? A relationship, a success, a happy moment, and then somehow destroyed it? That's self-sabotage. And it's rarely random. When your childhood was unpredictable, good things often came before bad things. Hope was dangerous because it was followed by disappointment. So your nervous system learned to protect you by ending things before they could end badly, before the other shoe dropped. Unconsciously, you'd rather destroy it yourself than wait for it to fall apart. Sign 6. You have intense fear of abandonment. If you were emotionally or physically abandoned as a child, or if a parent was inconsistently present, warm sometimes, cold other times, you likely developed a deep, visceral terror of being left. In adult relationships, this shows up as jealousy, controlling behavior, constant need for reassurance, inability to be alone, or paradoxically, pushing people away before they can leave you. None of this is a character flaw. All of it is a nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. The body keeps the score. One of the most important things to understand about childhood trauma is that it lives in the body, not just in thoughts and memories. Bessel van der Kolk, author of one of the most influential books on trauma ever written, showed that trauma literally reshapes the brain and the nervous system. It changes how you breathe, how you hold tension, how your body reacts before your mind even registers what's happening. This is why talking about trauma alone is often not enough, because the part of the brain that stores traumatic memories is not the part that processes language. You can understand your trauma intellectually and still feel it in your body as if it's happening right now. Healing trauma means working with the nervous system, not just the mind, where healing begins. So what does healing actually look like? It does not look like forgetting what happened. It does not look like forgiving people before you're ready. It does not look like pushing through and pretending you're fine. Healing begins with one thing: awareness. The moment you recognize, I'm not actually reacting to this situation, I'm reacting to something from a long time ago, something shifts. It doesn't fix everything, but it breaks the automatic loop. Here are 3 things that genuinely help. Step 1. Validate your own experience. Most people with childhood trauma spent years being told their feelings weren't real, weren't valid, or were too much. Start by simply telling yourself, what happened to me mattered. My reactions make sense. I am not broken. I am responding to real experiences. This isn't self-pity. This is the foundation of healing. Step 2. Learn to recognize your triggers. A trigger is any present-day stimulus that activates an old wound, a tone of voice, a certain silence, a look, a feeling of being ignored. When you learn to recognize your triggers and decide twice before they hijack you, you create space between stimulus and response. You go from, I exploded and I don't know why, to, I noticed my chest tightened. That's my signal, let me pause. Step 3. Seek proper support. Childhood trauma, especially complex or long-term trauma, is very difficult to heal alone. Approaches like EMDR, somatic therapy, and trauma-focused therapy have strong evidence behind them. You don't have to relive everything. You don't have to talk about every detail. But working with someone trained in trauma can help your nervous system learn that it's finally safe to let go. The child you were did not have choices. They survived with the tools they had. The adult you are does have choices. And the most important one is this: to stop treating your wounds as character flaws and start treating them as exactly what they are: old injuries that never got the chance to heal. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You are not broken. You learned to survive. Now, slowly, gently, and with the right support, you can learn to live. If this video reached something in you, drop a comment below, even just the word healing. Subscribe if you want more videos like this, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.